video is going to be on the unique restraint that it takes to actually make your best golf swing. The great Bobby Jones always referred to the golf swing as taking a unique amount of kind of power and motion, but also restraint. And I want to explain what that restraint really means. Restraint means that you're willing to allow the sequencing of the golf swing to unfold. What you're responsible for doing in a golf swing is not hitting the golf ball. The swing hits the golf ball. What you're responsible for is all the things you create leading up to that that's going to allow that to occur, which does take a very unique amount of restraint. Most golfers struggle because they don't employ restraint. And what that means is they try to use the different parts of the body and the sequencing at the same time, as opposed to understanding how the feel and how things actually unfold in a golf swing. So let me describe. If I have restraint, my golf swing will unfold like so. I'll get to the top, and as I'm setting the top, my lower body will start to push the ground and I'll start to rotate, and that'll cause energy to transfer to the thorax and then immediately to the arms, and then finally as the arms slow down, the golf club speeds up and it swings. That's restraint, okay? So what am I really responsible for? Well, I'm responsible for getting the club in a big turn to good position, and then I'm responsible for getting it started. But then the rest of it is learning to let the body feel what it's like to transfer momentum. And that's a very difficult thing to do with a rigid object like a golf club that has a lot of weight at the end. Because when we grab it, it's very impulsive to try to move it with muscles we're much more familiar with, such as around our shoulder joints and through our wrist joints. So why most golfers struggle with this idea of restraint is what happens is if I have the impulse to hit it, I try to move. I understand enough about a golf swing, I got to use my body, but I don't understand the feeling of letting the energy transfer, so I start moving my lower and my upper at the same time. That creates a big power gap, and then it forces you to kind of make your hands do the rest of the work. So you end up kind of looking like a golf swing, but it isn't actually transferring the energy. You're not showing enough restraint to actually let it happen. And this is where my training aid, the Pro, comes in. If you swing something that's non-rigid, you are forced to start to understand the physics of how a swing unfolds. And everybody would benefit greatly if they just took the time to, even if you didn't get my training aid, to get a ball attached to a string like the great Bobby Jones used to do, just to understand what it's like to transfer momentum. But then you get the idea of what I'm talking about, restraint. I can't just get up here and hit it. I have to wait for it and start to understand that I'm going to transfer energy ultimately to the rope here into the cylinder to get it to actually strike what I want to do, or what I want it to strike. So as I'm working with my impact pad, if I take it to the top, if I try to use my golf swing movements, if I'm moving my lower body and my upper body at the same time, I don't get any tension into the rope. So I have to learn that there is a building time in the golf swing and then a releasing time. And as I get more and more skilled at doing this, at swinging my Pro and transferring momentum, I can start to feel that restraint. I'm not making it hit. I'm starting to create this sequencing of movement that gets a nice transfer of momentum happening from various segments in my body. And that's just an invaluable thing to learn. And it's very difficult to think your way through sequencing, and it's a lot easier to feel your way through sequencing. So that's why you'd want to get yourself a Pro, so you can actually start to train in an all-at-once phenomenon and get the brain to really understand what it feels like to create really solid sequencing. So remember what the great Bobby Jones said. You have to have restraint to have a great golf swing. And understanding restraint is really key in developing your best swing.